Okay, welcome to Tales from the Nerd. I'm your host, a random nerd, and yes, I know it's not the usual set. I decided that the first 5 episodes was going to be a decision on where I'm going to have the first 5 episodes. This will be the set for the next 5 episodes of the podcast, and then I have another idea for another set for the next 5 episodes, and then hopefully. You guys tell me in the comments or on Twitter or on Instagram, you tell me which set you like most. So far, I think I like this one because there's a bit of an ambiance and it's not just a blank wall and you actually see all my collectibles as well. I collect a lot of stuff. That's why I call this podcast Tales from the Nerd. But other than that, let's get into this week's comics. Now I thought I organized these. Okay. Yes, I'm going to have this like a news show basically. Okay, so basically we're going to talk about Action Comics 1011, written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Steve Epting. Now, Leviathan wins because it's destroyed anyone and everyone who could have stand in its way. It's taken down Sam Lane, Spiral, Checkmate, and the new evil organization stands ready to topple the Man of Steel himself. Now, so far, Brian Michael Bendis, his only series so far that's been good is Young Justice and Action Comics. Those are the only two books I'm reading more Brian Michael Bendis books. I'm reading three Brian Michael Bendis books. The regular Superman run, the Action Comics run, and the Young Justice. So far, I'm enjoying Young Justice and Action Comics. And this Leviathan run is actually pretty good, considering Superman run hasn't been that well received. I was enjoying it in the very beginning, but in the middle, it's thrown me off. It's starting to pick a little bit of interest right now with Superman 11 coming out. Already have come out. But this book, I cannot wait because it puts Brian Michael Bendis into a situation where like he's writing this event, he's writing the story, and it's going to be a 6-issue mini event as well, which will lead to the summer event called Leviathan. It's going to be a 6-issue mini. And so far, I'm liking this. I'm liking the mystery. I'm liking the pace. Because usually Brian Michael Bendis can take a long time for pacing, or he'll pace it well or not or badly, which he's not taking well paced in the Superman run. But I feel like his Action Comics run is being well paced, and I'm enjoying the Leviathan story arc, and I really can't wait because everyone's like, oh, Leviathan's a mystery. It's Talia al Ghul, because originally Talia al Ghul was the leader of Leviathan, but she's not, and everyone's like, who is this? And then with the Year of the Villain 25 cents issue, it's revealed that they know more than they let on. And so far, if you want to pick up this book, it's in the middle of the storyline. But this should be the final issue before it picks up a new story arc. So if you're interested in reading about Action Comics, you should still be able to get all the issues for, the storyline still in comic shops. And these books will be released on, let's see, what's today? May 22nd. So if any of these books interest you, hop on to May 22nd to your local comic book shop, tell them, or you can look for Action Comics. Now we're going to go to probably one of my fun series that I like. It's a book, it's kind of a hard sell to people, but it's pretty fun to me, and I like the concept of Guardians of the Galaxy, but as Guardians of the Galaxy, which they kind of hinted in the MCU. Now we're going to go to As Guardians of the Galaxy number 9, written by Colin Bunn and art by Paolo Vinelli. Maleficent has taken over New York, and Thor is missing, Odin is injured, and Freya is on a mission of her own. Valkyrie is left to face the onslaught of Malekith's army. Now, this is a War of the Realms tie-in. Basically, Valkyrie is fighting Malekith. And if you read War of the Realms, oh my god, what happened to Valkyrie? Valkyries, because she's not the only Valkyrie. So far, I think this will be a good time because this Valkyrie has two personalities in one. She has her human side and a Asgardian side when she has a sword or when she wants to call her Asgardian side, because they're two different people. But so far, Asgardians of the Galaxy is a pretty fun book. I wouldn't jump on right now. I'm going to tell you when to jump on books or when like the middle story arc is done. Right now, it's a tie-in. It's just dealing with War of the Realms right now, which War of the Realms should be ending next month or this month. It's just it's its summer event or pre-summer event for Marvel right now. So would I recommend you getting this issue? Yes, if you're into the War of the Realms. No, if you're trying to jump on. I will tell you when to jump on. I would jump on maybe around issue, well, the first issue and then onwards. That should be really the run right now. But so far, it's been a pretty fun run, and I love Throg, the frog version of Thor. He's just awesome. It's just a frog with a hammer who has the old costume of Thor. It's awesome. I love Throg. Man, Throg is awesome. Okay, now we're going to talk about Avengers number 19, written by Jason Aaron, art by Ed McGuinness. Avengers Mountain is under siege by Maleficent's forces as the last base for superheroes. This basically is another War of the Realms tie-in. Basically, I won't recommend it for you to pick up right now. It is in the middle of a tie-in. Last tie-in, we got to meet Marvel's DC version of superheroes. Basically, it's just a copy of Marvel copied Justice League, but for the Marvel Universe. But we already had this scene before with the Squadron Supreme, basically. And they do make a joke like, oh yeah, this is DC's heroes, because they are set in Washington, D.C. I found that a little bit funny. And they also have they have the trope of the tall but strong guy in glasses who's a really superhero like Superman, so there's that joke. Basically, what I know from this issue, I think from what I know from War of the Realms, this is going to tie into what happened in War of the Realms issue 4 or 3, where Black Panther is defending Avengers Mountain. Avengers Mountain is basically a celestial body in ice, and the Avengers uses it as a base, which is a cool concept, and I like it so far. But the thing about Jason Aaron's so far Avengers run is he'll put an idea, then he'll like put it aside. But I think this will be a fun issue because we'll get to see a battle within the Avengers Mountain, and I want to see what creatures will be fighting there and what weapons the Avengers have, what defenses that they have, since Black Panther helped design, is helping, defend it, and I think he has a trick up his sleeve. So that's my opinion on the book. Maybe next issue you should pick it up, but if you're into War of the Realms, this is your thing. This is the bread and butter if you like Avengers and War of the Realms. But let's move on. Batman Beyond number 32, written by Dan Jurgens and art by Rick Leonardo. Batman is on his own when fighting Spit with no support from the Batcave. Bruce Wayne is out of character since his few visits from Arkham Asylum, as he is throwing his money away, per se. Now, this is part 2 of a storyline where we got hinted last book that Bruce Wayne, because he's not Batman right now. Bruce Wayne is out of character. He's not the guy who's always planning. He is spending his money more gallantly. He's acting like his young self when he was pretending to be Bruce Wayne. He's spending his money. He's drinking. He's basically, last year Terry called him and he's like, I need help. And Bruce is like, oh, he doesn't need my help. I'm like, what's going on? And it's teased in the book that something is going on. I'm thinking it's someone's controlling his mind, or someone drugged him, or it's a robot. That's my idea. But if you love the Batman Beyond universe, this is really a real good jumping on point at the moment, because you're only one issue behind and you really don't need to read anything else, because if you watch the Batman Beyond animated TV show, that's all you kind of need to know. The basic idea is Batman is retired, Terry McGinnis takes over Batman, and he's Batman. That's it so far. Recommend it. It's been a pretty good run, and I do recommend it if you want to get more Batman, but without Tom King. Because Tom King's Batman run is iffy at the moment. I'm somewhat enjoying it, but there is a lot of problems with his writing at the moment. Hopefully he can turn around, because he's having Bane take over Gotham in the next few issues. But Batman Beyond number 2, it's a good, solid pickup. I've enjoyed it. Okay, now we're going to go to Detective Comics 1004. Written by Peter J. Tomasi and art by Barry Kitson. Oh, my bad. No, by Brad Walker and Andrew Hennessy. Not Brad Kitson, sorry. Went a little forward. Basically, the Arkham Knight has been revealed. But what's their plan? Batman's shocking secret that he never knew of his life will be taken for granted. Now, Peter J. Tomasi knows how to write Batman. This is probably the most fun Batman book right now. It's this one and Batman Beyond, which I'm enjoying very much. I love the Batman Who Laughs, but that is its own thing. It's not really a Batman book. It's the concept of having the Batman Who Laughs in the main DC universe, and how Batman's trying to come over it. But yeah, basically last issue we got revealed who the Arkham Knight was. Everyone is like, who? Everyone predicted that it would be a Jason Todd or like the usual suspect because Arkham Knight was created for the game, and it was also written by Peter J. Tomasi, the dialogue for that character. But I'm happy they bringing it in the books, and it's different. It's a different villain which he could take on, and which future writers can use in the future. Hopefully they use him right. So far, Peter J. Tomasi has not gone wrong so far in his Batman and Detective Comics. And so far, after his last few issues, I'm enjoying this, and I cannot wait for more. And also, Damian feels more like Damian. He's starting to open up a bit more, and we also get his artistic. He could draw. So I love that they're exploring more Damian than just him being a mini version of Batman, where he's like always shrouded. He's always, he's always like mean faced. He has the Batman face. That's what I'm trying to say. But this one, he's like, well, I'm a kid. I can have fun. I'm like, I'm not an assassin. I'm Robin, and I'm just as badass as Batman, but I don't have to be serious all the time, because his Teen Titans run so far, Jesus Christ, they had a direction and they derailed it. That's all I gotta say. But so far, Detective Comics, it's only on issue on the third part of the story arc. You could pick this up right now. It should be ending. Usually, a Peter J. Tomasi story arc will last about 6 to 8 issues. But if you love this story, and it's a pretty good jumping on point at the moment for Detective Comics, I highly recommend it. It's a fun book. Now we're going to talk about Doctor Strange number 14, written by Mark Waid and Barry Kitson, and art by Barry Kitson. Doctor Strange's ex-wife, Clea, is back, but with Galactus on his back, can the two save countless lives? Now, basically, last issue, I think this is the third or fourth part of this, the story right now, the third or fourth part. Basically, Galactus was taken out of the main Marvel universe, taken into a pocket dimension. In that pocket dimension, he finds his ex-wife Clea, and Doctor Strange makes a deal with Galactus, and he's going to become a Herald Galactus. Now, so far, Doctor Strange's been iffy. I'm reading it because I want to know more about Doctor Strange, and really jumping on Doctor Strange book isn't really a good way. But I am learning the character. I also research him. I'm going on the Google Marvel Wiki. I'm watching YouTube videos. So I know what Doctor Strange can do. And so far, it's been a weird but good ride with Doctor Strange. It was weird in the first 3 issues, but then it got a little bit better. Then it's a little bit weird now. And I think the story is just going to be slow paced at the moment. But is it a good jumping on point? No. I will let you know when the story arc finishes, and then when I do the listings for next time for Doctor Strange, I'll let you know when it is to pick up the book. Now we're going to go to Flash 71, Year 1, Part 2. Basically, it's Flash 71, written by Joshua Williams, art by Howard Porter, and let's just say this book is fun. It's just basically like Batman Year 1, Superman Year 1, and But the New 52 before New 52 went to crap. Basically, okay, this is the synopsis. When his when he when Barry tested his powers, he will face his first villains. Now, I don't want to give too much because this is a story arc that's continuing at the moment. Last issue 2 weeks ago, I think you still get issue 70, which was released 2 weeks ago. Basically, it's the origin of Barry Allen. It changes up a little bit. It won't be the one you recognize. It'll be similar to the one you recognize from TV shows and comics and other media, but it gives it a little twist at the end. At the end of the book, it gives a cool twist. I love good twists, and let me just say this: Joshua Williamson's run so far of Flash has been good. It has had a couple 2 weird arcs, but so far it's been a fun ride, and we get to learn more about the Speed Force and what Barry Allen can do and how he pushes himself. Now, this will be a Barry Allen when he's younger. It won't be the current Barry Allen. And so far, it's been a good book. You can pick it up on Tuesday, issue 70 and 71. It's a really good jumping on point at the moment. So, Flash number 71, I recommend it. Now we're going to talk about Justice League Dark. Basically, it's written by James Tynion IV, art by Alvaro Eduardo, Martinez Bueno, Raul Fernandez. Zatanna makes a deal with Mordru, the Lord of Chaos. To fight the Lords of Order, Justice League Dark team need to become the Lords of Chaos since the destruction of Dr. Fate. Now, again, Justice League Dark is a really good book. The only complaint I have about the book is James Tynion IV is a wordy writer. And let me say this, when I mean wordy, he gives so much explanation to the book. You kind of need it. And it's really cool. It takes me about 20 minutes to read his book style, the way he writes it. But it's a fun book, and it goes into the more magical side of the DC universe. And so far, it's in the middle story arc. Let me say this. This story arc is really good because, the Lords of Chaos since the destruction of Dr. Fate. I forgot to read the rest of the rest of the description. Let's go with that. But basically, it's a middle story arc. This story arc is basically dealing with the ramifications of the Source Wall, the darkness of the Upside Down Man, basically. And the Upside Down Man is a really cool concept. It's a creepy creature. It's something Scott Snyder would do for a Batman villain. But James Tynion IV is he studied under Scott Snyder, so they both have similar styles. And so far, I love his writing because he did a fantastic run on Detective Comics. So, is there a recommended book? I recommend it because it's very magical. Not like happy magical. It's like everything has a cost. So, I highly recommend it, but I would recommend you get it if you want to know more about the magic of DC. But if not, you can wait till the story arc ends, and I will tell you when to jump on once again. Okay, now almost done with all the books. This week's books is heavy. This week's books is heavy, cause you'll know. Okay, Martian Manhunter number 5. Really, is it on number 5? Right, it had that weird pause. It had a weird pause for a while. Basically, it's written by Steve Orlando and art by Riley Rusmo. John Jones is no longer a survivor of Mars since the criminal Charn survived. John asked for Diane's help, but what secrets is she hiding? Basically, in this book, we don't know if it's in continuity or not. Basically, we revealed that John Jones was a dick as a police officer in Mars, and he took when Mars was destroyed, he went to Earth, and he took over someone's life after he saw him die, and he said, "I'm only gonna do one thing: be a good cop, do this last case for this cop's life, and live my life." And he kept living this guy's life as John Jones. John Jones. And so far, he revealed to his partner that he's an alien. They had a weird, rough. Rough relationship at the moment, and so far, he's asking her to trust him. And so far, it's a fun book. It's a 12-issue miniseries. You could try to pick up the rest of the issues, but this is something you kind of have to wait for the trade. And when I mean trade is when the book is finally done. But you can still find the books on comic book shops and online. And I do love the art. The art is very cool and creepy at the same time. It's a fun book. It's a detective story as well. So, do I recommend it? Yes. If you love Martian Manhunter, and this gives a different side of him as well. So now we're gonna go to one of my favorite books, Miles Morales' Spider-Man #6, written by Saladin Ahmed, and art by Javi Garron. Who is Starling? Is she going to help Tombstone, or is she going to make Brooklyn deadlier? Basically, if I remember last time, Miles Morales, it's finishing up this story arc, or I think it's gonna be an 8-issue story at the moment. Basically, what happened last issue, Miles Morales went snooping around. He got attacked by Tombstone, and then what was her name again? Starling came in out of nowhere, and Miles is shocked. Now, Miles Morales, it's a fun book, and let me say this: it is so hard to find issue 1 of Miles Morales. This is something you might have to wait for the trade for the first 6 issues for the trade. So far, it's a fun book. I love Miles Morales. Ever since his Ultimate Spider-Man, I read Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't have the issues anymore. Unfortunately, something happened to them. I think I lost them or they broke while I was moving around. But I read Miles Morales. I read his run. It was amazing. And then I didn't read his previous run because I already had so many comics. And then when Spider-Verse came out, I said, I need to get Miles Morales because he is one of my favorite characters and he's a Latino. So he represents me and the black community as well because he is black and Latino. So it's something I enjoy, and it's seeing representation I haven't seen in a while in comics. Well, for me, not I don't know about you guys. But if you want to know more about Miles Morales' crazy life as living as Spider-Man and himself as a normal human being, pick it up. It really is something good to read. And now we're going to go to Terrifics #16, written by Jean Luen Yang and art by Steven Segovia. The Terrifics head to cyberspace to battle God. Yes, God. While in cyberspace, they face off plagues and things head to biblical proportions. Now, so far, it's in issue 2 of a story arc. Last issue, they went to cyberspace, and yeah, they were chasing villain. They went to cyberspace, and they're like, "We're gonna go to cyberspace." I love Terrifics, but the original writer for these first 14 issues, Jeff Lemire, he left the book, and I don't know how long this book will last, because so far every other Age of Heroes book has been canceled. Silencer was just canceled recently, and this is the last Age of Heroes book. I really don't want to see this team go, but hopefully they don't go, or maybe they could put them on another team. Maybe Justice League may have some of those characters be in the Justice League, maybe some of them be in Justice League Dark or Justice League Odyssey. So far, the first issue was okay. I'm really seeing how the second issue goes to see if I still want to read the book. But this has Metamorpho, Plastic Man, Phantom Girl, and Miss Terrific. And so far, this team has been fun to read for the past year. But this is something you might have to wait out a little bit longer. I'm reading it because I love the characters, and I really can't wait to see how the first story arc ends. Now we're going to talk about Tony Stark, Iron Man issue 11. This is the final conclusion of the Escape, basically. It's written by Dan Slott and art by Valerio Schiti. I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's Schiti. So I tried my best. The secret of the Escape has been revealed, and it has real world effects that is devastating. Now, where we left off, Tony Stark went to the Escape. He discovered that if he doesn't know if he has a soul or not, because he's changed his biology a lot over the years, doing Extremis and Civil War II, him coming back and cloning his body, and he's dealing like, am I real? And he asked Jocasta, like, how do you know if I have a soul or not? And so far, it's been a fun book. And a couple issues ago, he basically went back into Tony Stark as we know from the early 70s and 80s, like Damon in a Bottle, where he's drinking in the Escape, he's a party going, and we get the classic golden red costume as well, and the roller skates. And it's a fun book. I had doubts in issue 2 and 3, but it got better, and I'm enjoying the book. Dan Slott knows how to write Iron Man, but he can't write Spider-Man. But Dan Slott did know how to write Spider-Man very early on, but then he lost his footing somewhere along the line. But so far, his Iron Man run has been really good, and it's a little bit underrated, but I really can't wait for this conclusion, because where we last left off, Tony Stark was left in space with no air. And I was, because after everyone went back to the regular world, they went to like please find Tony Stark, GPS the suit, we can't find him. And then all you see Tony Stark just in space with his Iron Man costume, because he's having trouble to breathe. And so far, I love this book, and it's concluding the story arc right now. I can't recommend it, but you could get the trade at the moment. But when this storyline finishes, next issue I think is War of the Realms tie-in. If not, it'll pick up a new story arc. Tony Stark Iron Man, it is a fun book. It's a little bit slow in issue 2 and 3, but it is fun. Now we're going to talk about Venom number 14, which is a War of the Realms tie-in. It's written by Cullen Bunn and art by Eben Coelho. With battles going on in the world, Venom has teamed up with an unlikely group to stop Maleficent or die trying. Basically, this is another War of the Realms tie-in. Again, if you're into War of the Realms, you want to pick up this book, because it'll explain where Venom is. But basically, we found out last issue that after Eddie Brock separated with the Venom symbiote, Venom symbiote, he found a witch / sorceress who gave him a stone, which granted him any wish, and he got a new version of the Venom suit, and he helped basically attack some criminals and some dark elves, and help his son, but his son doesn't know that Eddie is his father, but he thinks of him as a brother, and Eddie doesn't want to tell him that he's a failed parent. But so far, I really can't wait for the War of the Realms to end for Venom, because I was enjoying what Donny Cates is doing. Cullen Bunn just took over for the War of the Realms science, and hopefully Donny Cates can pick up where Cullen Bunn will leave off, because I doubt Eddie will keep that new Venom symbiote suit. It looks a little bit cooler, but I'm like, it's not the same when Donny Cates is not writing it. And there's something in my eye. Now we're going to talk about War of the Realms Journey into Mystery number 3, written by Clint McElroy. Art by Iban art by Andre Arujo. Miles Morales must find out if these dead Western heroes are on which side. Baby Louisa adds fuel to the fire with a game of peekaboo. Basically, Louisa is the baby sister of Thor. And basically, what we found out last issue, this is another War of the Realms sign. If you want to pick it up, you don't have to pick it up. I'm picking it up because I really want to immerse myself in this world. of War of the Realms. Basically, this issue just deals with what happened last issue, even though last issue was a flashback before issue 1 of how, Ares got. Basically, it gives an basic issue 1. They're on a road trip. They are stopped by Ares. Issue 2, they go into like a camper, like a camper site thing. They meet Skrulls, they fight, and we learned that she has powers, baby Lausa, and she could charm people. And it also gives an origin of like why Ares is motivation to stop these young heroes of Hawkeye, Lady Deathlock, and Miles Morales. I forgot the other characters, but I'm going on top of the memory. So far, it's a fun book, but it's something you don't need to pick up at the moment. I'm just reading for War of the Realms, and I love Kate Bishop and Miles Morales interacting because, like, who are you? No, like, how do you look like without the mask? So, yeah, I'm enjoying War of the Realms. Now we're going to talk about War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas, written by Greg Pak, art by Gang Huik Lim. I'm going to show must lead a team of international superheroes to stop the Queen of Cinder since she has conquered the rest of Asia. Basically, last issue, he was with Kamala Khan. Basically, it dealt with how the champions were separated. They're doing their own thing at the moment. Everyone's like doing their own thing. Miles is with Kate. Kamala Khan is with the champions, and then Ahmed's show is helping leading the team by accident because Jimmy Woo, who was supposed to help lead the team, got knocked out, and the the new international team was fighting the champions. But hopefully, next issue will resolve like, okay, yeah, we're heroes. We gotta go stop this evil queen lady before she burns all of us to the ground. Is it a pickup? No, you don't have to pick this up. I wanted to pick this up because I wanted to see how many agent heroes there are. And so far, it surprised me how many there are because, again, I'm joining this world once again in comics. I stopped a couple of years ago. I joined back in 2016 with Justice League versus Suicide Squad. That's when I started picking up books again. So this is something, I'm researching who characters are slowly, and this is a weird ride to do because Marvel has so many heroes. So we're going to talk about War of the Realms, Punisher #2, written by Gary Dugan, art by Marcelo Ferreira. Punisher leads a team of criminals to save hospital patients to go to the Lincoln Tunnel while fighting hordes of monsters. Basically, this is Punisher getting, like, he got saved by Wolverine, or he saved Wolverine last issue, and he's like, oh, okay, he breaks into the bus. He's like, you guys are going to help me help the hospital because he saw the hospital was like being run over and they were trying to get people out. And Punisher gives them weapons. He's like, here, you're going to help me, save these people. Criminal's like, says, no, screw you. Let me go. He's going to attack Punisher. Punisher grabs his gun and shoots the criminal in the face. And he's like, who's next? Or do you want to help this hospital? And I was like, okay, let's grab our weapons. I'm not going to argue with the Punisher. Let's go fight monsters. And so far, it's a fun book. Again, you don't need to pick it up. It's only going to be a 3-issue mini. It's going to end pretty soon. So that's pretty much it for Punisher #2. War of the Realms Strike Force. Okay, 3, 2, 1. War of the Realms Strike Force Land of Giants #1, written by Tom Taylor, art by George Molina. Captain America must lead a team of Spider-Man, Wolverine, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and their mission is to save Thor from the Frost Giant. To save Thor from the Frost Giants. I couldn't say Frost Giants. I don't know why. Basically, this will help gap in what happened in War of the Realms #3. Because at #3, we saw crazy Thor. He basically was missing an arm. He was being Frost Giants up. But basically, this story went into crazy mode, as Wolverine said. Yeah, he's going to crazy mode, and I see that because I've done that. And it's funny because I think those are the only 2 characters that can go crazy, and I think Sabretooth and maybe Deadpool. So, yeah. So far, yeah, this will basically what happened in issue 3 to 4. How they saved Thor, how they took him to Avengers Mountain. I was gonna say mansion, but it's really mountain. So far, I think it's just a one-off, or it's gonna be like 2 or 3 issues. Again, you don't need to pick this up. This is another War of the Realms tie-in. You really don't need to pick this up. I just want to see how they saved Thor, because he had one arm and just beating frost giants with a hammer. He's like, ah. That's. I think the mic peaked a little bit, but it's a. So far, I'm gonna see how the book is. It's gonna be the first issue, so I really can't wait for War of the Realms. Now we're gonna talk about War of the Realms Uncanny X-Men #2. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg, art by Pere Perez. Sabretooth is back and bloodthirsty as ever, and he's joined Malekith to make the X-Men bleed. I don't remember what happened in Uncanny X-Men #1 with War of the Realms. We did get revealed that Sabretooth was in the last page. He's going to join Malekith, and of course, why not? He's like, the X-Men screwed me over in Weapon X. Nobody saved me. So let me just go back to being an evil bad guy. Because in, what is it? Not Weapon X. Yeah, Weapon X, he was trying to be a hero with Old Man Logan. And when Old Man Logan left to be in his Old Man book and Dead Man Logan, so far, Sabretooth's back, he's evil again. That's basically it. Is it a book you need to pick up? No. It's only going to be 3-issue mini. Again, War of the Realms is ending this month. No, it's ending next month. Yeah, I think it's ending next month. Basically, we'll see how the story concludes, how all these storylines will converge to how the ending of War of the Realms will be. And that's it for War of the Realms tie-ins. Now we're going to talk about War of the Realms. No, not War of the Realms. Wolverine Infinity Watch #4, written by Gary Dugan, art by Andy McDonald. Logan and Loki must protect the new Guardians of Infinity. Basically, this takes after the return of Wolverine, the storyline. You don't need to pick this book up. It's ending on issue 5 or 6. I'm picking it up because Wolverine's back, and it's finally good to see him back in the book. But it's weird because he's in every other book except he doesn't have his own main book. Very weird. It's very weird. But this is basically Wolverine and Loki in space, helping a guy who has the new time stone, a new owner of the time stone. And it's just space shenanigans. Wolverine's learning his new heat claws. That's really it. It's a fun book. Again, you don't have to pick it up. It is ending, and you could probably buy it trade, which is a lot cheaper than buying the single issues. The last book that I am picking up on Wednesday, it is Wonder Woman 71, written by G. Willow Wilson and art by Gary Nord, Mickey Gray. Okay. Aphrodite's son might know the secret to reunite Wonder Woman to her family and Paradise Island, but can she survive the journey? Last issue, basically, this is the third part of G. Willow Wilson's story arc for Wonder Woman at the moment. She did like another run, Wonder Woman. This is like the second run or third run. Basically, what happened last few issues, they found a town who, they basically, whatever they craved, they just did it. And basically, they got everything what they wanted, but then they realized it's not what, they're not happy. They got what they wanted, but they're not happy. Because as one guy said, my wife left me for her lover, and I got the babysitter. The house is, who's gonna help me pay my mortgage? I quit my job. It's like, it's crazy, and I'm enjoying the story arc right now. I wasn't enjoying much of the other ones because they dealt with so much mythology. I loved the first arc where she found the woman, the god of love. I love that, but then it led to the weird finding the rock creatures. I'm like, what is this? It was okay. I still believe G. Willow Wilson is trying to find her footing in Wonder Woman. It's kind of hard because, again, Wonder Woman has only two things to do in a book, which is sad. And, well, she's dealing with magic right now in Justice Dark, but right now they're writing Wonder Woman either. She's going to do what is it, Greek mythology or being a superhero, which I'm like, I would rather her see more of a superhero than reading her doing Greek mythology. But I want to see how the story arc ends because it is piquing my interest. So that's it for the books. Now I'm going to talk about what the news of the week has been, what people have been talking about. Dark Phoenix. You can see how excited I am for Dark Phoenix. Basically released a new trailer for the movie, but it's not a trailer for the movie. It's kind of like the legacy of X-Men, the X-Men franchise. Basically, the trailer was given clips of like the old stars from the original X-Men films, interviews, Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, like early on X-Men before like they became these awesome characters that we know and love in the films. And let's just say this will be the final X-Men movie. It won't be the final X-Men property as we know, as the New Mutants will be next year. And that'll be the final thing Fox produced and owned. But this will be the final X-Men movie. And again, I'm not planning to see it, but I am seeing it with friends because they want to see it. I asked them, yeah, let's go hang out. I was like, yeah, let's go watch Dark Phoenix. I'm like, the one movie I don't want to see, I have to see it. I already saw again as I said earlier in my earlier podcast, X-Men Dark Phoenix is just X-Men The Last Stand, just repackaged with more CGI. It is dark for dark. God, why can't the X-Men have a hopeful story? Jesus Christ. Jean is evil again. Oh my God. But she had no build-up to being evil. We only saw her in one film and she's gonna be evil. Ooh. I'm like, at least in the comics, Jean Grey was built up to become the Phoenix. She became evil. She basically was a hero. She became evil and then she died and came back. But this Jean Grey is young, and we only saw one film with her, and that's it. I mean, Sophie Turner is a really good actress because she's been in Game of Thrones, and that's one show I haven't watched. I know people crucify me. People I know tell me, you don't watch Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is the best show. Like, I already watched a lot of stuff already. I watched a lot of superhero TV shows and a lot of my own personal TV shows that I enjoy. I really don't have time for Game of Thrones. And the season just ended as well. So I might pick up Game of Thrones and I might talk about it. But so far, am I excited for Dark Phoenix? No. Am I going to see it? Yes. Is it because I want to see it? No. It's going to be awful. I can already see it's written by the same guy who ruined it. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm getting a headache just from talking about Dark Phoenix. Why? They could have done every other story. They could have done any other thing with X-Men characters. But they chose Dark Phoenix again. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to talk about Maleficent 2. The trailer was released. And it adds a more darker tone to the Maleficent story arc. Basically, I saw the first Maleficent movie when I was graduating high school, which was like 6 years ago. And it was okay. I love that Angelina Jolie was perfect for Maleficent, but Maleficent was the villain of the movies. But at the end of the movie of Maleficent 1, she was the hero. This basically picks up years after the first one. She's becoming more evil, basically. And let me say this: I might see it. It's kind of hard because this month was already. There's a lot of movies coming out, and I have to budget myself basically. And a lot of good movies just really did come out. I've been to the theater twice in a month. But Maleficent 2, watch the trailer and see if you want to see it for yourself. I'm in the maybe pile. I might see it, like maybe on a Tuesday. If I see another trailer, I will probably see it. But at the moment, I'm not too excited. Angelina Jolie is a fantastic actress. It's just it's not resonating for me at the moment. Now we're going to talk about the Star Wars 2022 film that will be written and directed by David Benioff and Dan Weiss of Game of Thrones. And let me say this, let it be an Obi-Wan movie, please. Because so far the rumor mill is that it's going to be set between the third and fourth film. Please let it be an Obi-Wan Kenobi film. I would love an Obi-Wan. Why? Instead of getting Han Solo film, we should have gotten an Obi-Wan Kenobi film. That would have been money making. Get Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have the technology. Please let it be an Obi-Wan Kenobi film. Please, for the love of God. It would fit properly in the universe. You don't have to give him backstory. You could just be like the silent hero who like does nothing, but then when something dangerous happens, he's like, okay, I gotta step up and let me be a hero, and then let me go hide in the shadows again. So the 2022 film, I'm really excited because Star Wars is a good franchise, and I want to give it love. Now we're going to talk about the Batman Hush animated trailer that was just released. Now let me say this, I cannot wait for Batman Hush, because the Batman versus Teenage Ninja Turtles movie was good. It had a few art issues, in my opinion. Like a couple frames didn't make sense. Like one frame didn't, it looked weird in certain shots, but it was a very enjoyable film. Batman Hush basically has come out. Hush will attack Batman and Bruce Wayne personally, and basically it will deal with Batman's relationship with Selena Kyle as well. So Hush is basically, in the comics, Bruce Wayne's friend who killed his parents, and basically in the comics he basically surgically did his face to look like Bruce Wayne. And I doubt they will do that. They will do a weird twist. Oh no, like I'm someone else. I really hope they don't ruin the Hush character. Hush is cool, but they haven't done anything really good with him recently, which is sad because he was really good villain mentally against Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne was like, I had to fight against myself, someone who looks like me. It's coming out on digital July 20th, and on Blu-ray and 4K on August 13th. Now, July 20th is not that far away. It's only 2 months away, so I really can't wait for the film. I really hope they could step up on the animation, because the animation looks a little bit choppy now from the DC animated universe. Because if you watch the earlier stuff, it was amazing, especially Flashpoint. Flashpoint was the best animated movie they've ever done, besides Justice League Doom and Batman Under the Red Hood. Batman Under the Red Hood is the only movie I could watch multiple times and enjoy it. So yeah, I'm excited for Hush, because they've been talking about it for like 2 goddamn years. Okay, now we're going to talk about Black Mirror Season 5, and they released a trailer of it. And oh my god, it's only going to have 3 episodes, but Black Mirror is so good. Just go on Netflix, watch the first 4 seasons. They are so good. And oh my god, it is a good show. Black Mirror is, I highly recommend it. It is really good. It's basically it's like a what if comic, basically. Like, what if this happened? It is so cool. And it's only gonna have 3 episodes. And so far they said they're gonna the episodes are gonna have an overarching theme, because so far every other episode from Black Mirror has been standalone, and I think this will be the first season that will have like a connective story. That's how I see it. They did say it's going to have an overarching theme. I'm thinking it's going to have a connective story, hopefully. But it has Anthony Mackie and Miley Cyrus in it. I really can't wait. It's coming out this summer, and I really can't wait. I highly recommend watching Black Mirror. It's really good. It's only 3 episodes, and I really hope they push the limits of how good the writing will be and the cinematography. Okay, here I've been talking for 50 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, so we got a few more things to talk about, and then you'll only see me next week. So we're gonna talk about the MCU. Basically, Kevin Feige has confirmed that the Mandarin will come in the MCU. Basically, the last time we saw the Mandarin was we got the mention of the real Mandarin in the Marvel one-shot All Hail the King, which Trevor Slattery's basically pretended to be the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, but then he got in jail, and basically he's having an interview with some guy. The guy pulls a gun on him, and he's like, the real Mandarin wants to talk to you. This was back in 2013. They haven't done anything with it, which is sad because, spoiler, if you haven't seen the #1 movie, if you haven't seen this movie, how can you not see this movie? It's been out for almost a month. You have had to see this movie. If you haven't, you're going to get spoiled right now. The Mandarin is the villain for Iron Man. Iron Man is dead right now. I don't know who the hell Mandarin would fight. And here's the thing. Ben Kingsley was a perfect cast for the Mandarin. And they underutilized the Mandarin character. The twist was okay. But if it was any other villain from Iron Man's Rogue Alley, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. As long as nobody touched the Iron Man. Because I was really hoping that the Mandarin was like a more psychological villain. He wasn't more a physical villain, a psychological villain like Tony Stark. He had the perfect voice. Ben Kingsley was perfect cast for Mandarin. God! Iron Man 3 was probably the weakest Iron Man film. I mean, Iron Man 1 was just literal perfection, even though it had no script. But yeah, Kevin Feige said, the real Mandarin will come to the MCU because, Doctor Strange brought magic. There's a multiverse now because of him and Captain Marvel. So we will see more stuff eventually expand the MCU. But I would have loved to see him, the Mandarin and Iron Man fight, which we won't see anymore because, Tony Stark is dead. So, yeah. But, oh man, I don't know, maybe Iron Lad? Because the kid from Iron Man 3 is in the Endgame, and he, in the comics, not in the comics, I don't think he could become Iron Lad. Because Iron Lad is a thing in the comics, so hopefully he could take up the mantle of Tony Stark. Because Spider-Man is not going to be Iron Man, even though in the trailer they said, oh, I got to be the next Iron Man. No, Spider-Man's going to be his own thing. Okay, so I'm excited. Am I excited for the Mandarin? Yes. But I am sad because he will not fight his greatest foe, Iron Man. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Batwoman trailer that was just released. And it was announced that it'll be coming out every Sunday with Supergirl. Now, this trailer basically is just Kate Kane picking up the mantle of Bruce Wayne because Batman's been missing for 3 years. We know that because the Elseworlds crossover back in November or December said, yeah, Batman's been missing 3 years and everyone thinks he's a myth. And basically, it's weird because is it going to retcon the Elseworld? Basically, will the pilot be before Elseworlds or after Elseworlds? Most likely it's going to be before Elseworlds, but they kind of have to explain, okay, they got to have 2 episodes and she's going to have to mention like, oh, I met Oliver Queen and the Flash. Oliver Queen, he should have left the city when I told him. I hope they give a mention of that. Basically, we get to see the Batman costume. We get to see a version of the Batcave in Wayne Tower. And Ruby Rose's character, Kate Kane, sees the Batman costume and she says, oh, the suit will be perfect once it fits a woman. I was like, ooh, you know what? If you said the suit will be perfect once it fits me. Because it created somewhat of controversy. I'm still excited for Batwoman because I loved Ruby Rose's first appearance in the Elseworlds, in the Arrow part of the crossover. I really can't wait for this character because she is a lesbian. And this character is really cool. She's exactly like Batman, just a woman version of Batman. And it's something what the fans have been asking for, like, we want Batman. Well, you got a version of Batman, but it's a woman. It's Batwoman. It's his cousin, so she can handle herself. And you know what? Basically, yeah. And the Batman costume is cool, which is a lot better than the Gotham costume. The Gotham costume looked like crap. It looks like they found pieces of plastic and they just stuck it together. I'm sorry. I like Gotham, but the final costume was just horrendous, in my opinion. And you know what's funny? The CW did it, and they did it better. Oh my god. But yeah, am I excited for Batwoman? Yes. And what I like about it is they did film some of the pilot in Chicago because there is a lot of Chicago shots. So yes, I love seeing my city represented in TV shows and movies. So am I excited for Batwoman? Yes. Just Google Batwoman trailer or Batwoman Elseworlds. That's all you need to know to confirm that she can take care of herself. Okay, we got a few more things and then I am done. You don't have to hear me talk and you could go do whatever. Basically, we're going to get a Deathstroke animated series that will come to the CW Seed. Basically, the CW Seed is a free app you could have. Basically, you'll have an ad play before the show, any show you watch, and then an ad after. And basically, the synopsis we get is Slade and his family is threatened by the villainous Jackal and the terrorist group Hive. Basically, I don't know if this will be set in the Arrowverse or not. Most likely it won't be because Deathstroke's family right now in the Arrowverse isn't set well. We haven't met. We only met one of his sons and one of his other sons in an alternate timeline. Am I excited? Yes. Hopefully they could get Manu Bennett. He does an awesome Slade voice. Let me say this: when they announced him as Slade, I'm like, hey, he could pull it off. Like, I'll wait for that. And then when he came on episode, I was like, yeah, he's Deathstroke. Yeah, he's like the perfect Deathstroke in my opinion. Best TV show Deathstroke I've seen. There's only been one other from Smallville, and it was only a guy with an eye patch. That's it. But what's funny is we are getting Deathstroke in Titans Season 2, and it will be a different actor. So that's why they can't use him in the Arrowverse anymore. But Titans is like, yeah, you can use Deathstroke. You can't even use Batman. Yeah, our DC streaming service, you can use Batman, Deathstroke, DCW. You can't use Batman. You can't use anyone from Batman. You can't use Deathstroke. Like Arrow's like, I built up a story for Deathstroke to appear in season 6. No. God. Man, Warner Brothers, you have all your properties. Just let everyone appear, for God's sakes. Marvel can't have everyone at the moment. Oh, now they kind of have everyone except the Hulk family. But other than that, DC, you have everyone. Just let them use in the goddamn TV shows. God, so many logistics. Okay, moving on. This is something that kind of broke the internet. Reports are saying that Robert Pattinson, the guy from Twilight, might be the next Dark Knight in the Matt Reeves Batman movie. Let me just say this: fans were unhappy. God, it was Robert Pattinson was probably like tweeting like, "Oh God, no!" Like, I'm trying my best here. Like, I didn't like Twilight. I think there's a quote from me. It was like, "No, I didn't like filming Twilight." God, I was like, "Oh no!" I'm like, when the early reports were saying that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, I was like, I really hope not, because people are going to give him crap. And oh my God, there are petitions set up for him not to be the Dark Knight. Let me just say this: give him a chance. If he is the Dark Knight, give him a chance. I'll give him a chance. I'm not his biggest fan here. For one, I have watched maybe one movie with Robert Pattinson. That's the one where he's in the Twin Towers, and that's it. And Twilight from trailers, that's about it. From what I hear, he's done other good roles. I will give him a chance because, again, I gave crap for Ben Affleck, but then he turned out to be one of my favorite Batmans. He turned out to be one of my favorite versions of Batman. And Heath Ledger, he got a ton of crap, and he became my favorite Joker. So, Robert Pattinson, I will give you a choice. People, just give him a choice. Give him a chance, not a choice, give him a chance. Calm down. And it's not even finalized either, so it's just in talks. Okay, now we're going to talk about John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum takes the #1 spot from Avengers Endgame, because Avengers Endgame has stayed #1 for 3 weeks. Congrats, John Wick, of course. And what's funny is Aladdin's coming out next week. It's not going to earn that much money because it's squeezed in between Avengers Endgame, Detective Pikachu, and John Wick. 3 franchises have been built up, and we're done good. And I'm not excited for that Aladdin live action movie. Will Smith's in it, but it's like, if you had it like maybe a 1 month before, 1 month ahead, like in June, you would have been safe. You're not safe against like the summer blockbusters of John Wick. John Wick was fantastic, by the way. Go watch the film. I bought both John Wick 1 and John Wick Chapter 2 on 4K. Best thing I bought for $30. But yeah, and also in other news, Avengers Endgame has reached #1 movie in the world. It has officially beat Avatar. I can already hear James Cameron say, well, I can't wait for my sequels to beat that money. Sorry, Marvel. You can't have me as a director. Too creative. Well, James Cameron, you haven't done an Avatar sequel in 10 years, and 2, no, I don't think anyone's hyped for Avatar 2. I'm not hyped for Avatar 2. You took way too long. That's my opinion. But this is funny, but I think can work is Chris Rock and James Wan will team up to reboot the Saw franchise, and the first movie will be coming out in fall 2020. Chris Rock is a comedic man, and I think him and James Wan can do good because so far the guy who did Us, Jordan Peele, I think that's his name. Don't quote me. I think he's done fantastic films, and let me say this. I will give Chris Rock a chance. He says, like, we will do things differently than what they did in the first film. It'll be a different kind of horror. I think that I'm misquoting him, but it's somewhere along the lines of that. If they do it and they release the trailer, I think by early next year, I think it's a movie I might see. I'm excited for this. We got 4 more things and then we're done. Basically, the Black Widow movie will take place after the events of Civil War. So now we know a timeline of when the Black Widow movie will come out. People were guessing it's before Iron Man 1. It was going to be 2006. It was going to be after she graduated from the Russian program. But so far, we know this movie will take place after Civil War, and she will be on her own missions. That's what the synopsis says so far. It might not be the official thing, but that's so far what people are saying. Now, 2 movies will be released in 2021, March 5th, 2021, which will be the Warner Brothers Mortal Kombat movie, which will finally get a reboot, and then Sony's Master of the Universe movie. Let me say this: I'm more excited for the Mortal Kombat movie because they've been talking about it since that web short of Mortal Kombat, and it got people hyped. And then they did 2 seasons of that show, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're not doing it anymore." Which, I mean, you can do a Mortal Kombat movie. You can do it now good. It is proven that Detective Pikachu was the only good movie. Hopefully it's not a fluke, and hopefully they can do the Mortal Kombat movie universe justice. Because the games are good, but the second movie was okay. The web series was really cool, especially the trailer they had was really cool. And then the web series season 1 was really good, and season 2 was like, iffy. Then season 3 was going to happen, but it never did. It never took off. So am I excited for Mortal Kombat? Yes. Master of the Universe? I have to see a trailer for that. But yeah. Now we're going to talk about Westworld Season 3. It was released, the trailer was released earlier this week. The new season will be set years in the future, and it will have Aaron Paul be the new lead. And let me say this, Westworld is a good show. And let me say this, Westworld and Black Mirror are like the top 2 shows you have to watch right now. They're really fun. It takes stuff in the future. It messes with your mind. And I love shows like that, like Legion, basically. Stuff that messes with your mind. Westworld is a really good show. I highly recommend it. If you have HBO, go watch it on HBO. I think it's on HBO or on AMC. I forgot which one. I think it's on HBO. It's a really good show. It's a really good show. It has fantastic cinematography. Now, the last thing we'll talk about is the Falcon and Winter TV show. It will bring back Daniel Bruhl. He played Zemo in Civil War, and Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter. So those two characters will appear back in the MCU in the TV shows. It's only going to be 6 episodes. I really can't wait for the show. And they're going to bring back Zemo. Hadn't met Zemo. And I really hope they give him a costume now, because that's the one thing I wanted of Baron Zemo. I wanted him to be a combatant. He was more of an intelligent, he was more a mental character than a physical character, but in the comics he is both. And hopefully, since he got a crossfade, he got a little bit more buff, and he's more of a strategist and a combatant. And maybe this will close the loop for the Sharon Carter love story for Steve Rogers, since, as you know, he's old now, and Sharon Carter has to move on, and she maybe helps Winter Soldier, and Falcon help move on from Cap. That's really it about the news. I hope you enjoy. Tell me what you liked about what I talked. Tell me what you want me to talk about more. Tell me, hey, tell me more about this comic. And if you tell me that, I will explain it a little bit more in detail. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And that's really it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Take care. Have a good night.